Hello YouTubers, hello my friends, Tudagamon here. In this video I'm going to benchmark Hitman on a single GTX 1070 paired with a Core i5-2500. This video is recorded on an external recorder at 60 frames per second, so what you will see in this video will be pure performance. The i5-2500 is overclocked to 4.8 GHz. There it is. It has 16 GB of memory, and the graphics card is a single GTX 1070 KFA2, the EX model. Latest force were installed, and it is also a little overclocked in order to boost at 2 GHz. We will verify that at the end of the video. Now regarding this benchmarking video, I'm going to use a new method. There is a built-in benchmarking tool for Hitman. I'm going to use that to capture frame rate data, but I'm not going to rely on the performance indication of the benchmark itself. I'm going to use OCAT instead to capture both DirectX 11 and DirectX 12 frame rate data, and after that is done, we will see a comparison of the two runs in flat. So let me start the OCAT first. 1080p resolution, DirectX 11 first, no vertical sync of course. Everything is maxed out except the super sampling, which is too much GPU limited, and this game is a nice CPU test. It is very heavy on the CPU, as you will see soon enough, and of course I have overridden all memory safeguards with this option. So I'm going to start the benchmark, and once it loads I'm going to press F11 to start the benchmark session of the OCAT. You can see it's OSD on the top right. There it is. I'm starting the benchmark. The GPU usage shows us that we have a CPU limit, of course, a very big one actually.
If you'll excuse me, Doctor, urgent matter. Do enjoy your stay. God, this is
You over there! I need you by the stage now. Remember to lick your teeth. You don't want any lipstick there, do we? Make you look like unkempt sluts.
Okay, the DirectX 11 has finished. The benchmark does finish a little abruptly, so we will have to put up with that. Now I'm going to switch to DirectX 12. I'm not going to show you benchmark results just yet, or MSI Afterburner graphs in a little while. So Again, 1080p resolution. The settings are the same. The settings are the same as before, and I'm starting the benchmark right away. The only difference with DirectX 12 is that you cannot see the on-screen display of OCAT. Only MS Afterburner works as an OSD in DirectX 12, but that is besides the point. The benchmark works fine. I'm starting the benchmark right now. You will see that there will be two files generated at about the same time once I open them in flat.
Oh, perfect.
If you'll excuse me, Congressman, urgent matter. Do enjoy your evening.
You over there! I need you by the stage now. Back. A smidge on your left brow. The cameras will catch that.
Okay, DirectX 12 has also finished. We are going to see the results momentarily. First of all, let's see the quite important MSI Afterburner graphs. Frame rate seems to be about equal for both runs. I do not see anything crazy on either one of them. We will analyze that further in flat. However, both of these runs have very ugly frame time jumps, and especially DirectX 12 seems to be more sensitive in frame times jumps. I'm not sure why. Actually, it is evident that we do have a CPU limit, a very ugly one. Both DirectX 11 and DirectX 12 are maxing out the CPU, as you can see. DirectX 12 does seem to have just a tiny bit of higher GPU usage. I'm not sure if this will help in the end result, but both of the runs are very CPU limited. You can see the GPU usage dips greatly at some points. CPU temps are okay, however, no problems here. 6.3 GB of DirectX 11 system RAM usage, 5.7 for DirectX 12, but the overall page memory is higher on DirectX 12. The power of the card is also a little higher in DirectX 12 compared to the 11 shader path. GPU temps are okay. The core clock of both runs is at 2 GHz. You can see in this DirectX 11 path that the core did drop a lot. That is due to extreme CPU limit, and the 1070 can drop its clocks in the blink of an eye if the GPU load is not high enough. That's how bad the CPU limit was. And something really crazy here, 3 GB of video RAM usage for DirectX 11 and 5.5 GB for DirectX 12. I have no idea why this is. That's why the overall page memory was a lot higher. I don't see the point why you would use DirectX 12 for this game. The graphics are exactly the same. The frame time seem to be worse. Let's see, however, what's going on here. Hitman 2016, maxed noSSAA. I'm going to name this GTX 1070 plus i5-2500k, DirectX 11 first. Now you can see here my two runs that happened just a few minutes ago. 334 is the DirectX 11 run, and 337 is DirectX 12. So let's start with DirectX 11, and I'm going to also open the DirectX 12. This is quite interesting because I believe this is the first time I'm comparing frame times and frame rate and everything. Okay, so here is the indeed very interesting result. The average frame rate of DirectX 11 is lower compared to DirectX 12. That's why we had a tiny bit of GPU usage higher. I told you that it looked a little higher, but we do have a worse comparable frame rate. No, we do not have a worse comparable. My bad. Okay, DirectX 12 seems to be indeed a little higher in all aspects. Let's see the visualization. DirectX 11 first. A lot of spikes in the frame times. These were registered in actually the big ones are the ones that were registered in MSI Afterburner. I could say these may be the scene changes, but I don't know if we did have so many scene changes in the run. I will have to count them later in the video. Not the best frame times, however. DirectX 12 seems to be about the same. Not very good frame times. This may be due to the extreme CPU limit. I will say that again. Thankfully, frame times beyond 16.7 milliseconds are only 2.5% for DirectX 12 and only 5.6, 5.7 for DirectX 11. Histogram for DirectX 11, not too bad. We may have all this jumping around in the frame times, but thankfully these are happening at 16 milliseconds or lower, so you can be rest assured that we will have a quite decent gaming experience. The same goes for DirectX 12, although the graph is a little different due to this registered very high frame times, but again overall the 16 milliseconds and below are dominant. The frame times are dominant, So let's see some comparisons. No, let me change the color first. Let's use dark green here and red there. Okay. So DirectX 12 is the red one. Indeed, they do seem to be just a little bit lower, but only a fraction. We can see the average here, 11.2 for DirectX 11, 10.7 for DirectX 12. That's a minuscule difference. I'm guessing the same will be for the frame rate. They are looking very close. DirectX 12 again with a little edge over the DirectX 11, nothing too serious. No, I show you. Come on. Min, max and averages show nearly the same performance, a little better for DirectX 12, and I'm pretty sure this is due to the CPU mostly. If I had a stronger CPU, maybe things would be a little different. 2.1 milliseconds of variability for DirectX 12, 2.6 for DirectX 11, but we do have a little more stuttering for DirectX 12 compared to DirectX 11. The percentiles curve also very similar. The red one for DirectX 12 is a little better indeed, and an interesting curve in the time spent beyond chart. And lastly, the comparable frame rate, better for DirectX 12 overlaid with the variability and the stuttering. The performance is very close for both runs, but having seen the video RAM usage almost doubling for DirectX 12 for no apparent reason, I would stay away from it, my friends, and I would stick with DirectX 11 shader path, but that's just me. In any case, we have reached the end of another benchmarking video. I hope you find it mildly interesting. Thank you very much for watching.